Good morning, traders. This is Michael coming to you from Game Edge on July 2nd with our pre-market prep session. As always, here at Game Edge, we start with our three pillars. We looked at sentiment. We'll look at sentiment, structure, and trend, and then we'll also look at our SPX 0DT option structure positioning for today and our game plan heading into the open. Currently looking at our market trend model. If you followed us for any amount of time, this is where we start. We want to be on the right side of the market, and this market trend model gives us an overview of buying versus selling. It's based on the tick index. Quick orientation is this bolded white CT is our intraday instantaneous cumulative tick, referred to as our CT. Obviously, if this is going to the upside from lower left to upper right, this is indicating that there was more buying versus selling in the overall market. Yesterday, even though with the significant price appreciation in SPX to the upside and then some consolidation, we saw the tick index going sideways, moving up here to our breadth indicator, new highs versus new lows. Obviously, new highs were moving to the upside. I think it's been noticed by most people around FinTwit, RSP, and IWM were showing relative strength to the overall market yesterday, while the tech sector as well as the Qs and NQ were moving to the downside. But again, indicating more stocks are being accumulated or bought versus sold yesterday via our breadth indicator. And then our overall filter tick indicator, plus 1,000, minus 1,000, larger institutional block orders was moving to the upside also. And then our cumulative tick obviously staying above zero. So we may see some consolidation today. We're seeing this CT or cumulative tick start to flatten out a little bit. This is what we saw previously, and then we saw a slight pullback in the overall SPX, and then we resumed the upside nature. Again, this is just that ebb and flow of the overall market of buying versus selling. So again, we may be looking for a consolidation period heading into today, as well as a shortened holiday week. We'll continue to watch the cumulative tick. Not out of the realm of possibilities to see this again move sideways and then below these shorter term moving averages. Longer term look back period, obviously our colored ribbon here, red above cyan, and we continue to the upside, indicating that market speculators are continuing to buy on a longer term time frame, so a longer term trend there. So again, takeaway is possible consolidation via overall market trend model, possible pullback. So we'll continue to watch that as this looks to be flattening out and moving sideways. Now, if we do turn back to the upside, then obviously we could see another significant price appreciation in the overall SPX. Moving on the SPXA, this is our cruise ship. Again, longer and term expiries as denoted here by the next expiry, which is July 18th. And then obviously our monthly expiries as well as quarterly expiries. Call dominated on this front, indicating institutions are still speculating to the upside. You see 6250, 6200, 6300, all to the upside positioning there for larger institutional players. And then to the downside, we're call dominated above and below spot price. So any pullback should be met or looked at with an overall opportunity to get involved on the upside for any pullback down toward these key levels of 6150 and 6100, as well as 6175. So again, this overall SPXA does not have an intraday influence, but we like to keep an eye on it as how larger market participants are positioning on out in time with the SPX options complex. Moving on the SPXP, this is our speedboats. Obviously, these are 0DT as well as weekly expiries. These contracts turn over much more rapidly. Again, call dominated heading into the overall week and today. Again, 6200, that large round psychological as well as positioning level. We continue to see this be obviously in the money and call dominated. It looks like we're slightly below that at the market open now, so really nothing to speak about on a cautionary standpoint at the moment. Pull back to 6175, 6180. We'll show those confluence levels and transition levels on our 0DT here in just a minute. To the upside again, call speculation continues significantly, 6300, 6250 to the upside, so really nothing to get worried about there. Again, consolidation and overall market sideways price action would not be out of the realm of possibilities heading into the shortened holiday week and Thursday early closure for the overall markets. Moving on, the SPXP GEX ratio. Again, we've spoke about this. This is obviously short dated call gamma versus put gamma. Again, staying above that level of 1 indicates that call speculators are maintaining control. We did see with the price appreciation, we saw a short, quick jump in the overall GEX ratio, indicating short-dated call gamma would end. And then now we're seeing a pullback in the overall GEX ratio. Again, that ebb and flow and sine wave we talk about of market speculation, and we reach a tipping point, and we see the call speculators want to get paid for their overall risk, and they close some of those contracts, and then we see a pullback down or consolidation of price, a dropping of the GEX ratio, and then we'll start back up the slope again if we're going to continue with the price appreciation. So again, short-term dropping and slope down of the GEX ratio indicates the short-dated and short-term call gamma is at least leaving the overall complex or not being speculated back to the upside. So again, that's why I'm looking at overall price consolidation or a possible pullback within the SPX. Now, if this decides to turn back to the upside, indicating call speculators are coming back into the complex and ramping up that call speculation, then I anticipate the SPX to appreciate to the upside. But a short-term pullback consolidation would be probably the overall play for the rest of the week. Again, range bound with a couple levels we'll talk about here on the SPX P0DT in just a minute. Moving on to the SPXP GEX, or sorry, Delta Balance, really nothing to, the bulls are in complete control, nothing really to say that the bears are trying to move into the overall options complex. Again, Delta Balance pegged at 1, separating the overall option structures above and below spot price. So green obviously is above spot price, maintaining above that 0 level, indicating call speculators are maintaining control. And then we see the ramp up into actually next week, into the week and into next week on the out of the money call speculation. We do see the in the money calls start to drop a little bit, but again, maintaining above that 0 level. So again, bulls maintaining control, call speculation maintaining control. So for any cautionary stances, we'd have to see the Delta Balance completely start falling apart to the downside, dropping below 0, as well as the GEX ratio heading down towards 1 or below 1. Moving on to the SPX P0DTE, quick orientation. The GEX and DEX transitions are overlaid here and unambiguous at 6190 to 6200. So again, we like that very narrow action for us to be able to set up our trading plan, and unambiguous. If we're below it, we'd be slightly more cautionary for a pullback down towards 6150. Above it, bullish for a move up towards 6225. And then orientation of our drunken sailor range. These are lower exposure areas via the net OI. These areas will be driven by intraday volume analysis via our volume command, as well as market participants opening and closing contracts intraday. So we'll continue to watch that via our volume command. Again, if the call and put centroids are to the upside, showing a positive slope, we'd anticipate price appreciation. And if they're to the downside, we anticipate price depreciation. Or if they're crossing, then that's more of a consolidation type pattern with no urgency via the call speculators or put speculators. So drunken sailor range, again, if we get above 62.25, we'd anticipate price appreciation up towards 62.50. And then we have COI up here, which is the highest call open interest for 0DT, all the way up at 62.80. Again, not anticipating we reach those levels. You'll notice our purple gradients here of showing where those highest gradients are of call versus put OI. So again, to the upside, those would be 62.75 and 62.80. Pull back to 61.50 would probably be overall constructive for the market. That would reset some of the bullishness and see some consolidation. Most likely, any pullback, we'd probably look to get involved on the long side unless we see a significant change in sentiment, structure, as well as the market trend model. We'll be watching the bottom of the drunken sailor range for an opportunity to go long at 61.70, 61.75. And then if we do get rejected at the top of the drunken sailor range at 62.25 and we see our intraday volume analysis pointing down, this may be an opportunity for a quick short. Again, depending on what tech is doing. Also yesterday, I had a nice opportunity in the morning that we went over via our Discord channel. For our members, a short opportunity we opened up in QQQ and had a nice move to the downside. Contracts went almost 100% down towards our COTMP level, which was our target level. So it was a nice opportunity, at least in the morning, for a short. And then we have an opportunity long into the overall midday and then afternoon. And then we were met with some overall consolidation and pullback via some news in the afternoon. So we'll head over to our trading view chart this morning. Looks like we're just under that 6,200 level. So we'll continue to watch that. So the game plan heading into today around that 6,200 level would be if we move up and see a rejection and not met with call speculation to the upside via our intraday volume analysis, we most likely look for an opportunity to short for back down towards 61.75, 61.50. If we're above transition, we'd be looking for longs, bullishness, bottom of DS, so as an opportunity to get long, and then a move through 6,200, and then to the top of the DS would be that overall profit taking area. And then if we move through the top of DS, we'd be looking for 62.45 and 62.50. So that's our game plan for today. Again, a shortened holiday week. We may be a little bit lower on volume today. It may be a little bit choppy if we're stuck within this overall transition and drunken sailor range. So most likely those would be really short-term opportunities. We'll see if we have any of those present themselves. If not, it may be a good day just to take off and not put your capital at risk heading into a long holiday weekend. So thanks everybody for joining us. I'll be around for a couple more minutes. If anybody has any questions, be happy to answer those or go over any single stocks that anybody wants to look at this morning. So again, thank you for joining us. Make sure you check us out on X, CRCL. We can take a look at that one. I don't know if we've added it to our complex yet. But make sure you check us out on X. We've been posting a significant amount of content. Check out our weekend newsletter. Again, it goes over our methodology, and then we go in depth into specific topics related to Game Edge as well as the overall market. UNH, yeah, we'll take a look at that one. Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll take a look at a couple of our stocks here. All right, here's our web app. Obviously, if you're not familiar with it, we just punch in overall ticker. And then a couple seconds, we get an overall look of the option structure. So heading into today, UNH is call dominated. UNH only has, does not have obviously everyday expiries. So we'll be looking at obviously 7.3 and 7.11, but call dominated. Above and below spot price, transition area staying above that. Looks like we have significant call speculation to the upside via the positive net delta and green net delta here. So 320 is PGX. That'd be that first level. I'd be looking for some sort of stalling action. COI is all the way up there at 400. So that's a significant jump in spot price via UNH. So the overall expected move is 15 points via all these expiries. So you're looking at 4.67%. So that would be roughly around this 332 level, 332.50. Again, that's all expiries. So let's check the this next expiry. So COI is at 325, obviously for that 7.3. So that's tomorrow, and PGX at 325. So if we get a move to the upside, that would most likely be the cap heading into the third. And then the structure does continue to move up after this expiry. You see it up there at 330. So again, PGX and COI advancing. So that's key for upside price appreciation. And that's how you can use this web app to look through individual stocks. You just click expiry and see if the overall structure is advancing. You'll watch the transition level and see if it advances here. And you see the transition level widens a little bit, but you do see the overall structure advance to the upside too. So yeah, so upside looks good for UNH. 325 would be first stop. 330 would be that next stop that I would look at. Let's see, this is Alcoa, or not Alcoa, American Airlines, sorry. So same with the expiries, 7.3 and 7.11, call dominated above and below spot price. So that's good. Transition area above transition. That's a positive for price appreciation. We do see spot price right above PGX though, and COI. So appreciation to the upside may be a little bit dampened. At least this is all expiries. So you've already reached kind of that expected move. 1 point would be 31.50. Which doesn't look like the overall speculation is carrying that to the upside at the moment. You see how it drops off pretty rapidly on the net delta. So your largest strike is 30. Looks like we're already above that. So depending on where you got in, I'd anticipate price appreciation to the upside to most likely be stalling. 30 and 7.11 is 30. So you see the structure is not advancing on out in expiries. You do see some out of the money call speculation, but not a significant amount, most likely to run American Airlines to the upside for a significant move. So I would not be looking for a large price appreciation in American Airlines. The runway to the upside looks pretty small at the moment. Obviously 35 up here, call speculators, those are significantly out of the money. But yeah, it would be a slow price appreciation, but you're already above PGEX and COI, so you may see some profit taking from those holders actually. So Reddit, yeah, let's take a look at Reddit. I think that's in our universe. Yeah. So call dominated, same deal. Weekly expiries. So 155 is PGEX. COI is all the way up at 220. Expected move is 6.33%. So you're looking around the 162.50 level, and we're at 152.50. We need to get through PGEX. So let's look at this expiry. This one comes off 155 on PGEX and COI. Next one is 170. So after this expiry, significant amount of call speculation to the upside. So yeah, looking for upside appreciation towards that 170 level, obviously staying above transition. We do see the transition drop a little bit, but call dominated above and below spot price, and you see the structure advancing at least on the next expiries. And then after 7-11, it looks like the structure does drop a little bit. So that was those call speculation expiring around the 11th. Looks like that will drop the complex just a little bit. So, yep, that's the takeaway for Reddit. So, yeah, possible price appreciation up towards 170. Again, looks pretty good. So, Jason, we don't look at futures. We do have futures traders in our room, but we use the SPX, and we use that to trade futures and ES. One of our founders, Taylor, trades futures and posts all of his trades in our Discord. So yeah, the main thing with futures, just be perfectly honest, the data is just astronomical for a monthly fee to get the futures data. So it's just much easier to use the SPX and convert it to ES, and you can use that to trade futures. Works very well. So. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. If we're not here live tomorrow due to the shortened day, make sure everybody has a great holiday weekend. And again, give us feedback on how you'd like this structure, these pre-market preps, so we can definitely change the structure if anybody wants to see anything different. And then check us out on X. We'll have all of our pre-market posts heading out this morning, including a link to this live session where you can go back and review and pause your player. All right, thanks everybody.